Jose Mourinho is back at Real Madrid, and this man is on an absolute mission. After 2 trophyless seasons, Madrid has given him the financial firepower to completely rebuild the team. The special one is transforming Los Blancos, and this is going to be massive. Stay with me because what's happening at Madrid right now is absolutely insane. Quote. This is Robert's Football Talk, breaking down Real Madrid's revolutionary rebuild under Jose Mourinho. Listen carefully, because this is how winning teams are actually built. Real Madrid didn't panic after 2 trophyless seasons. They didn't make emotional decisions. They brought back Jose Mourinho, one of the greatest tactical minds in football history, and they gave him unlimited resources to rebuild. This is completely different from what they were doing under Carlo Ancelotti. Mourinho's master plan starts with one fundamental principle. Championships are not won with fancy goals and beautiful highlights. Championships are built on defensive foundations. And when you look at Madrid's defense over the last 2 seasons, it's obvious where the biggest problems were. They were too easy to hit on the counter. They struggled in aerial battles. They lacked the physical presence that any top team needs. So Mourinho went to work immediately. Phase 1 of Madrid's rebuild, the defense revolution, Konaté from Liverpool, a player with proven pedigree. This man is exactly what Mourinho demands. Powerful, dominant in the air, incredibly quick over long distances. He can defend one-on-one in open space like a monster. His recovery pace is something Madrid has been desperately missing for years. Yes, he had one questionable season at Liverpool in 2026. But people forget that his father passed away that season, and Liverpool was falling apart. The season before that, he and Van Dijk dominated and won the Premier League. So you cannot judge a player on one bad season with external circumstances. Then there's Denzel Dumfries, and this signing makes perfect sense. Dumfries is not a traditional right back like Trent. He's not going to ping perfect diagonal balls all day. No. This man is built on pure power and athleticism. He constantly runs up and down the right flank. He dominates in the air. He's always involved in attacking play. He's scoring goals. He's creating assists. He's everywhere on that pitch. His stats at Inter were absolutely stunning. At the World Cup, he was consistently creating opportunities for Gakpo. This is the athleticism Madrid was missing. If someone gets injured, they don't rely on Valverde anymore. They have a proper fullback who's good going forward, but not a liability defensively. Then there's Marco Correa. If any fullback was designed to play for Jose Mourinho, it's that. This guy, a rage-baiting coach, gets a rage-baiting left back. Perfect combination. Correa presses aggressively. He flies into tackles. He covers huge distances. He never stops working. In a team that was criticized for being filled with prima donna players, Correa is the exact profile Madrid needed. He frustrates opponents from the first whistle because he's constantly in their face. That left side with Vini and Correa, most annoying left side in all of football. But there's more to Correa than just aggression. He has high football IQ. He can overlap when Madrid need width. He can drift inside to help the midfield. He gives Mourinho tactical flexibility. His crosses at the World Cup to Oyarzabal were deadly. Correa was crucial for Spain winning both the World Cup in 2026 and the Euros in 2024. Before the Euros, people thought Chelsea were scammed by Brian. Fast forward, nobody thinks that anymore. These 3 defensive signings completely changed Madrid's identity. Instead of looking vulnerable every time possession is lost, Mourinho now has a backline that's quicker, stronger, more aggressive, and far better equipped to deal with transitions. But here's the smart part about Mourinho's strategy. Some people ask, didn't Madrid already upgrade these positions with Carreras, Dean Hen, and Trent? Yes, they did. But Mourinho is building a squad that can last an entire season, not just one good starting 11. Trent has insane passing range. He can split open any defense with one pass, but he's not always healthy. And that's not what Mourinho asks for every week. When Madrid need to defend a 1-goal lead away from home, you want a player whose first instinct is to defend. That's Dumfries. Dean Hen has all the tools to be one of Europe's best ball-playing center backs, but he's still developing. Asking a young defender to carry 50 to 60 matches is too much. That's why Konaté gives Madrid certainty. He's proven at the highest level. Kroos is still developing defensively. That's why Correa brings experience and reliability for the big matches. Madrid have been constantly hit with injuries. Militao, Alaba, Carvajal, they've all spent long periods on the sideline. Having just one quality player per position isn't enough anymore. Now Madrid have options, depth, backup plans. This is championship mentality. Phase 2 of the rebuild, the midfield transformation. For years, Madrid had been blessed with two of the greatest midfielders in football history, Toni Kroos and Luka Modric. But Kroos retired. Modric went to AC Milan. Madrid had plenty of athletic midfielders who could run around and win tackles. What they were missing was someone who could slow the game down, escape pressure, and dictate tempo against Europe's best teams. That's why Bernardo Silva, on a free transfer, was absolutely massive. Players with his quality almost never become available for free. This is a rare opportunity. Bernardo is one of the most technically gifted midfielders in world football. Put 2 or 3 opponents around him, and he doesn't panic. He glides away from challenges. He keeps possession. He finds the right pass like nothing happened. When Madrid are pressed high up the pitch, Bernardo is the escape route. When opponents sit in deep defensive blocks, he has the vision to unlock them. When games become chaotic, he puts his foot on the ball and brings everything back under control. But Bernardo isn't just a luxury playmaker. His work without the ball is what really caught Mourinho's attention. Throughout his time at Manchester City, Bernardo built a reputation as one of the hardest working players on the squad. He presses relentlessly. He never shies away from crunching tackles. It's a unique combination, technically gifted, but willing to do the dirty work. That's rare. Tactically, Bernardo gives Madrid endless flexibility. He can drop deep alongside Tchouaméni to help play out from the back. He can operate as an advanced midfielder. He can drift into right half spaces to link up with Diamande. No matter where Mourinho uses him, Bernardo connects every part of the team. Then there's Tchouaméni. This guy is finally going to play in his proper position under Mourinho. Because of Madrid's injury problems, Tchouaméni was constantly filling in at different positions. Now he can be a proper defensive midfielder sitting in front of the back four like a condom, protecting the defense. He's not there to dictate play like Kroos. He's not there for magical through balls like Modric. He's there to break up attacks, win second balls, make sure counterattacks never get started. This is the Malile role under Mourinho from 2 decades ago, a player who quietly does all the dirty work so everyone else can shine. This gives Bernardo complete freedom. Jude Bellingham can drive forward. A dueler can drift into dangerous spaces. Why? Because Tchouaméni is cleaning up behind them. Then there's Rodri. This is the massive piece Madrid are trying to complete. If Madrid pull this off, their midfield goes from good to unstoppable. Few players in football can dictate tempo like Rodri. He calmly keeps possession. He completes an incredible number of passes. He knows exactly when to slow the match down or speed it up. Everything flows through him. But what makes Rodri unique is that he combines technical quality with the physical presence of a defensive midfielder. He's dominant in the air, strong in duels, incredibly difficult to dispossess. He even steps up with massive goals when his team needs him. That's why Mourinho values him highly. Tactically, Rodri gives Madrid endless possibilities. He can sit as the lone holding midfielder, or Mourinho can pair him with Tchouaméni in a dominant double pivot that's almost impossible to break down. Phase 3. The attack revolution. Real Madrid's attack had one massive structural problem over the last 2 seasons. Everything was unbalanced. Everything went down the left side. Vini on the left wing. Rodrigo on the left. Even Bellingham attacking the same channel. Predictable. Opponents just overloaded the left and ignored the right. That's why Diamande was signed. He's the tactical solution to Madrid's structural problem. Unlike modern wide players who constantly drift inside, Diomande is happy to stay high and wide on the right. He stretches the pitch. He pins the opposition fullback. He creates the width that Madrid have been missing. Now opponents have a choice. If they keep packing the left side, Madrid switches play and leaves Diomande isolated one-on-one with a defender. Few players beat defenders one-on-one like Diomande. His explosive acceleration, elite dribbling, ability to beat players on either side. If defenders shift across, that's when Madrid's other stars feast. Mbappe has more room. Vini faces fewer double teams. Bellingham has bigger gaps to run into. Diomande isn't just making the right wing dangerous. He's making the entire attack function better because there's now balance. The attack didn't need much reinforcement because on paper, it's stacked. Mbappe, Vini, and Bellingham. These are world-class players. At the World Cup, they looked like their best selves. Mbappe finished as the Golden Boot winner. Playing through the middle in a system built around his strengths, he constantly ran in behind defenses and looked impossible to stop. Bellingham was just as impressive for England. He played as the number 10 and always arrived at exactly the right moment. Every goal was a flashback to his incredible 2024 season. Vini? For Brazil, he looked isolated, but at the World Cup, he found his form. Time and time again, he beat fullbacks, one-on-one, and created chances that very few players in world football can produce. Brazil could have lost their first game against Morocco without Vini. Brahim Diaz also had a great World Cup with multiple assists. Here's the key lesson from the World Cup. Talent was never Madrid's problem. The problem was structural. Madrid's biggest stars all drifted into the same areas. They were getting in each other's way instead of complementing each other. That's why Vini and Mbappe never looked good together. Under Mourinho, with Diomande providing width on the right, the pitch becomes balanced. Vini stays wide on the left. Mbappe remains through the middle. Bellingham attacks from midfield instead of playing as a fixed midfielder. There's also a KEY difference in work rate under Mourinho. No matter how talented you are, nobody gets a free pass defensively. Vini and Diomande will track back and help their fullbacks. Bellingham will lead the press. Mbappe's responsibility is to stay high, occupy center backs, and punish teams the moment Madrid win the ball back. Even the goalkeeper will have to press. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, it's obvious Real Madrid didn't react emotionally to 2 trophyless seasons. They have an actual plan. The club identified exactly where the squad was falling short. They brought back a manager who saved the club before. They backed him with resources. Now, of course, football is not played on paper. Mourinho hasn't had a job managing a club this big in a while. He might no longer be the special one. There could still be issues in the locker room. Tchouaméni and Valverde fought last season. Will Mbappe and Vini finally track back, or will they pout when Madrid drop points? We might come back, and Madrid are still trophyless in a year. But even if it fails, there's a clear plan in place. You can see Madrid's vision. This is Robert's Football Talk, breaking down Real Madrid's rebuild. If you want to see how Mourinho saved Madrid 16 years ago in a similar situation, watch the documentary in the link below. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. Turn on notifications. Be part of a community that analyzes tactical football at the highest level. Share this video. Let people know about Madrid's revolutionary rebuild under the special one. Because whether it succeeds or fails, it's going to be absolutely fascinating to watch. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next deep tactical breakdown. This is Robert's Football Talk. Tactical genius, analyzing the game you love.